Hi everyone. Wanted to do a quick video here. I'm trying to point out for all those people that don't quite understand why they need to be buying food and all those other goods right now and stocking them up for future use. So I wanted to put together some of the top headlines from the last few days in the last week, and I wanted to start with this one. This one's actually a couple weeks old, but this one still is going to be something that we feel. Basically, we had the big freeze in the end of January towards the Super Bowl, and this is from Cisco, their suppliers. They're basically saying here, immediate volatile prices, expected limited liability, and mediocre quality at best for all your fruits and vegetables that they grow in the southern United States and northern Mexico, because basically 80 to 100% crop damage from those freezes. And so it was minus 17 in Kansas, and I heard even up to 30 below zero in Oklahoma. That's some insane Canadian air getting really far south. And so that right there is going to create shortages in the food this year, because not only is this the food in your produce aisle, but this is also the food that goes into the food products that you get on your grocery store shelves. And so coming over here, this is NBC out of Buffalo, New York. They did a little story here. Basically, the food prices at the stores are going up, and this particular grocery store is trying to pin some prices down, and people are upset at the height of these prices. So maybe they went and bought a little extra for themselves. But it's pretty self-explanatory here. Shoppers are going home with higher bills or less food in their carts, and the one that will really hit everybody is the price of gas, because you drive down the road every day and you're always looking for a place to get gas. Right here, this is Connecticut, and I believe this was this morning, or at least yesterday, and they're saying $5 gas by the end of the summer. They're getting you prepared for this. And crude oil has gone up $20 a barrel in the last couple of days. It's just been insane. As Libya falls apart and these countries over there, it's just going to get worse. And they also let an article out a week or so ago that said the Saudi Arabia has 40% less oil reserves than what they've been stating. So not good. In the UK last month, in January, 4% increase in food across the board. That's pretty big. So, but here in the United States, one thing people don't realize is that we've been in a world of hurt for a while. And here, this little chart is food stamp participation here in the United States. This is February of 2007, when the markets were at their highest. You had 26 million people on food stamps. Those are the people living on the gravy train, people from other countries that come here, and they just soak up all of the social services and all that stuff for free. Then, here's the big stock market crash in 2008, and it jumped up quite a bit. And now we're up here, and actually the actual food stamp participation rate is now over 44 million, so it's actually off this chart. And 44 million people, that is your Depression-era food, your soup lines right there. And this probably doesn't include a lot of people that get their food from, churches and all that other stuff. And so that is a pretty telling thing. But the point I want to make with this video today is that the money you spend right now to buy, not only stock up on food from the grocery store and stock up on clothing for your kids that they're going to grow into in the next couple of years, and stock up on toilet paper and paper goods and laundry soap and all that other stuff, this particular chart here is a national debt chart. And this article here is full of charts. Everybody should read this particular article, and I'm going to put this at the top of all the articles that I put at the bottom, because you need to look at the charts and understand the numbers. And nobody's really paying attention to the numbers because everybody's going about their business. We've been lulled into sleep over years and years of being able to just buy whatever we wanted. But the credit card is dead. And this here is our U.S. government debt. And the point I want to make with this here, and this starts off at 1940. And 1940. And we went along here until the 70s, until you had the oil crisis in 75, and then things kind of made a big jump into 1980. And then we bankrupted the Russians, or so whatever was really true back then, and we started doing these little stair steps for 20 years, little steps, boom, 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 and then we get to 9/11, and now we're doing $500 billion a year, $500 billion, and of course in this area here is where everybody and their dog could buy a house, everybody could have a credit card. They were giving you, and I for one had credit cards where they said, you have a $35,000 credit line I mean, I had in 2 credit cards, I had almost $100,000 worth of available credit. I never tapped it because I knew it was ridiculous, but a lot of people tapped it, and so every time you tap that credit card, money is created out of nothing, and somebody owes that money, and the debt has just skyrocketed. But now in the last couple of years, we've gone from $500,000,000,000 a year in debt to $1,000,000,000,000 a year for just 1 year, and then all of a sudden, after 1 year of owing $1,000,000,000,000, now we're $2,000,000,000,000 a year, and this year it's going to be more than $2,000,000,000,000. And what this corresponds to is that $100 bill in your pocket. What you can buy for food right now, it's gradually gone up over the years, and everything's got more expensive, and now we're starting to see it jump in bigger increments. We're doing jumps like this when it comes to going to the grocery store, and we are getting ready to get into jumps like this now with what you can buy with that dollar. And that's what my point is I really want to make here, and that's why we are at the point to where everybody needs to sign up and get some food, not just the grocery store food that it's going to last you for the next couple of years, because believe me, once this comes up, there's going to be a lot of pain as this has to come down, and something has to happen with this. This just can't go up forever. It just can't do it. You can't print that much money, and if this was the printed money chart, it does the same thing that the debt chart does. They look the same. And so they're printing money like it's going out of style. That $100 bill in your pocket not only has been buying less and less every year, now it's getting ready to buy less and less in huge bounds. And that's why eFoods Global, not just to mention your grocery store, because that food is going to last you a couple years. You need something that's going to supplement you beyond the next couple years. This stuff, dehydrated food, dinner table quality food, and the stuff's so good. You can come on here. You can click right here. You can click join the team, or you can come over here to products, and then come down here to packs. 6 free meals for $10 shipping and handling. That is 12 servings prepared. That's 12 one-cup servings prepared out of 3 different things, and it's for $10. You can go get you a 2-cup prepared Mountain House packet from the camping store, which is more camping food, for $8. And so this is really a good deal. You can only get one of these little packages, but they'll let you try it. And I recommend everybody coming in and picking up at least one of these big 380 servings. This is an awesome supplement to your long-term food storage. If you had a flood, the packaging, it's not going to ruin the food. Unless you had a fire and your house burnt down, then you're in trouble. But I've purchased 2 of these myself, and I've purchased 5 of these guys. These are the variety pack. These are $100. But the way you have to approach stocking up and be a prepper at this point is the fact that the $100 bill that you have in your pocket today in February 2011, the same amount of product in 2012, if that availability is still there like it is today, is not going to buy you the same amount of food or the same amount of clothing. It is probably going to buy you half or even less. And so when people are looking at their bank account, you can put your money in the bank and leave it there, and your money, your dollar bill, is being taxed, because every time they print more money, it makes that dollar in your bank account worth less. One day that dollar is going to be worth nothing, because they've made it perfectly clear that their intention is to get rid of the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency and replace it with something else. And at that point in time, the dollar is going to be worth next to nothing. And so you can only print so many dollars until it's just paper. And so right now, you have the opportunity to buy food, whether it's through eFoods Global or your grocery store. Some people like to, if they have a lot of extra money, are buying gold and silver. Then they're keeping it themselves. They're hiding it wherever, because in the last 2 years, gold and silver is up hundreds of % and is still going through the roof, because people see that as a way to get their worth out of dollars into something else. But my point here is food is also that, because you have to have food every day of your life in order to live. And $100 worth of food you buy today and set aside that'll last you a year or more is going to be like you've doubled or tripled your money. Because if you wait with that and leave that $100 in your bank account until next year, you're going to get half of what you can get today. And that's what I want this video to get across, is that this chart and the way that our national debt is jumping is the same way your food costs are going to be jumping. And as the gas hits $5 a gallon and everything goes up, you're going to have less and less money to spend on other things. I mean, here pretty soon, a trip to grandma's house, if you got to drive 2 hours one way, you've spent $60 in gas. And at $5 a gallon, my Volkswagen 4-cylinder car, which I put $45 in the tank the other day, will be $60 to fill a tank of gas. I'm going to be walking and riding my bike everywhere just so I don't have to drive my car. It's insane. And so today is the day you can start preparing if you haven't done so. I would say, everybody, you come over, try the 6 free meals, or for $10 for the shipping and handling. Give it a shot. Realize that this food is good. This is something that is going to last you beyond the next 2 years. Because if you're like me, I don't see that in the next year or two that there's anything that's going to turn our economy around anytime soon. There's going to be a lot of pain for everybody before they get this thing turned in the right direction, because the politicians are going to crash us to the ground because they don't want to come out and tell you what we really need to do in order to turn this around. We've been spending on credit cards for years and years, and in the last 5 or 6 years it's gotten out of control. So anyway, take a look at this. Take a look at your grocery store and start preparing. Thanks.